What's up, everybody? So, I don't know. I just was moved to come on, shared something that every morning I get up and box, and it's kind of like a form of meditation. I always feel very connected when I'm done. I usually come home and do some form of meditation, usually outside, because outside in my front yard, I live very close to the beach, so you can like smell the salt water, and then I have a lot of palm trees in my front yard, and just like it's just really serene, right? So it's usually where I do my meditation, is right out front. And anyway, so I've been thinking a lot about this whole, like, how my whole spiritual journey began. And I'm talking like when it went to the next level, like when I started to really encounter um I was astro traveling, and I was making, having connections with, like, I first started, really knowing that, I was a medium, crossed over loved ones, people that I've done readings for. Um, Usually their loved ones would come visit me, that's how it first started. That's how I really became aware, and there was just a lot of things, very supernatural things happening in my life. And although as a child, I remember always talking to my angels and like talking to animals, and just like I remember always feeling like kind of like I was Snow White. And I know that's silly, but it's really how I felt. And because I would like talk to the squirrels, and I would like they were like my friends. I was a very lonely kid. I was always kind of an outcast, a nerd or whatever. I was always the person that got picked on. And it's just my life. I'm not saying that to have you feel sorry for me or anything. I just like I'm over it. But I was just been thinking of all of these things, and then how when I met the person that when I first encountered the person that I had begun my like twin flame journey with, um, it was just this out of this world experience. Like we locked eyes, and it was like everything happened in slow motion, and it was like there was a tremor happening. I heard the rumbling, and like I was like totally off balance, and I remember having to lean back on my desk. I had like one of these high top desk, and um to keep myself steady. And you know this happened the whole time, like as we locked eyes, like as he was walking by me, and until he turned the corner. And I remember just being so confused, like, what the fuck just happened? Like, and like when it stopped, and looking around and being even more confused because nothing was out of order. I was just like, nobody was like, oh my God, did you hear, can you believe that just happened? And like, I mean, I remember this one woman in like specifically, she was like arranging the flowers on the table, and I just couldn't believe the flowers were still steady, like they didn't fall on the ground. And um it wasn't my first experience like that. Like, I mean, that was the most profound one. But also when I was about, I think it was like 17, I remember seeing one of my first boyfriends. And again, it was like time stopped, right? When I saw this person, it's like I saw this person from like across the hallway. Like I was on one side of the school and like they were like on the other side, like, and I saw them. It was like the crowd parted, like everything went silent, everything went still, and I saw him. He like did this thing with his hair. He like flipped, it was like back in the day that, everybody had these like, I don't know, surfer cut things, like, and yeah, and that happened, and it was like, it was just stillness, everything went still, and it was like time literally stopped when, and everybody else stopped, everything got quiet, and I just um, saw him, and nothing else had ever happened like that until, this one experience with the whole like tremoring. I'll just call him Jack. When I met Jack, and like I made that that day, I was just like, I'm never looking at that guy ever again. Okay. Because at this point in my life, I had just lost six very close people to me in a 19-month period. Lost meaning like they had all crossed over. And these were people that I spoke to on a daily basis. Like they were my freaking people, my rocks, my foundation. They were the people I ran everything by. And um, the only like people I truly connected and felt like really saw me. They were my best friends, and it was a very rough time in my life. And I've heard that a lot of spiritual transformations happen like after, you know, like they are preceded by tremendous chaos in your life, And not only had I lost all these people, I had also like been robbed, and like most of my things were like stolen from me, and I didn't have any money. Like it was just terrible. And my brain was pretty much shot out, and I got a completely mindless job. I also got fired from my job because they fired like shut down the whole department of my department where I worked. And so I got a completely mindless job working as like the telephone girl or whatever, the receptionist. And yeah, so I met that guy. I met Jack, and like um I swore I'd never look at him again, but he always would approach me, at my desk, and whatever he was asking me, I'd have to talk to him because he was a client, but I would not make eye contact with him. And um I think he thought it was funny, that because it was very obvious I'd get nervous, because I would get very nervous, and I wasn't really like that. I've gotten nervous um, like that a couple of times. There's only been, I can count them on one hand, the men that have left me speechless. Okay, and there's literally only been three actually. So anyway, this is already 8 minutes. Here I am. Fast forward, like 7 years later, 8 years later, coming up on 8 years later, I guess. And I'm just wondering, like, what the fuck? Like, all this craziness has happened since that very day, right? So, like, even more of my spiritual gifts have expanded, psychic gifts, whatever. It's just I've gotten very in tune and feel very connected. And but as I've gotten more in tune, it's like with who I am and how I show up in the world and represent myself, a lot more people have left my life. And not necessarily because they've crossed over, but because I know that like I've had to let go of them in my life, because either it was too painful, mostly because it's too painful to have them in my life, not because I don't care for them or love these people, but just because I have to honor myself. That's mostly what I've learned from this journey, is that um, I've learned how to honor and respect myself, to value my opinion, to value my feelings just in general, and not sacrificing my own comfortability for somebody else's, So, um, and then, with my channel, I started off doing these twin flame um, readings because I seriously want to help people get to the place. Before it was about like coming together, about union. Everything was about union and like getting together, like divine masculine, divine feminine. And then along my journey, it's been, what I've learned is it's more about balancing the divine masculine and divine feminine within myself, and um, just how that equates to everything else around me, and you know Jack passed away, and that really threw just my reality into like okay, what's really going on here, like I was really pissed off at God for a long time, because here I am changing for the better. Here I am like really deep diving into my darkness to heal it, to make peace with it, to um accept, all the parts of myself that I perceived as rotten before, and make good of them, see the humor in the harshness of my lessons. And you know, it's like the last thing he ever said to me was, "I'm coming, babe, get ready. I'm coming, and I'll call you tonight." And he died. Like I never talked to him again. And um we were gonna just like be together, and like it didn't matter. It didn't matter the age difference. It didn't matter like any of the difference between either one of us. And since that time, it's like, maybe it wasn't everything I thought that it was, so I've had to face that reality too, that I was believing what I wanted to believe and see, and um you know led me to a deeper understanding of the way that I perceive people, and the things that I had held at value then versus what I hold at value like today are completely different. But just with this twin flame journey in specifically, because I've been wondering, like, do I still do this? Do I still believe in twin flames, And I feel like if you believe you are a twin flame, you are a twin flame. Okay? But I've also understand that whatever you believe you are, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, because all of it is just, what is it? Like, it's almost like, let me see if I can explain it like this. Like how there's like all these different religions, right? But to me, it's like basically we're all praying to the same God, but it's like, the Catholic religion feels comfortable praying to this God in this manner, okay? But really, it's the same God as like Buddha's talking to, okay, but Buddhists have like this other way of doing it, and it's like that for all the religions, and meanwhile the same God's up here, okay, but it's like wherever your understanding is, it's like that's the category that you fall in to reach this God. Because for me, what it's ended up being is that um, besides understanding, it's about like coming back to God, the universe, understanding that He's inside me, the universe is inside of me, and like I am one with all. And I don't really understand. I don't know. I don't really know have the verbs or the words, I mean, to explain to you what that means to me, because even when I tripped on acid, when I was like whatever, however old I was, 19 or something, and I floated on my back for like 8 hours and became like one with the water and one with the cement, and then it reached out to the grass and the chairs and the sky, and like I saw like it was just like everything was one. I didn't understand. Like I was like, yeah, like everything one. I saw how we were all connected, but the way that I understand that, because that's all I got then was like, oh yeah, I see how we're all together, but it doesn't. The way I understand that today, it's just like so much deeper, and it's also why I've been pushing through and continue to push myself towards forgiveness and healing, and um you know everybody has rotten things happen to them, right? And sometimes people will apologize and sometimes they won't, because we all kind of perceive our realities the way that we perceive our realities, and um it's nobody's fault that we see things differently, right? So I know that through all the heartache that I've experienced before and along this journey, which has like just been leading me to my own truths, my own understanding of myself and where I fit in the universe. Um, I believe in love. Like I still believe that, because that's where else I started drifting. Today was I was remembering, this room that I had when I lived in North Carolina with my family, and I don't know, maybe I was like in fourth or fifth grade, maybe fifth, maybe sixth, I don't know, but um, I used to have, and I've shared this on my channel before on something. I had this man that would always visit me as a kid, and I would. It always makes me cry. Um, get like very emotional because it was so comforting, because I just know that ever since I can remember, I've just never really felt like I was home, like I was comfortable, like I was where I belonged. And I don't, so I don't want to cry. But this man would always come, and I would stand on his shoes, like he'd always be dressed in a tuxedo. Oh my god. And he would dance with me. And I don't know. I'm sorry if you can hear that. My son is playing some video game. He's like screaming. So anyway, we're like 20 minutes into this. Like, I know that ever since I can remember, I have known in my heart and believed in all my heart that one day I would meet this soul, I'll just say soul, that saw me, And, some people think that it's foolish to believe that there's someone that's like made perfectly for you. And that has been my dream, like just to be with someone that would understand me even without words. And I know he exists because I feel him. And but I also know that there's this, it's like the loyalty I want, the love I want. I know it exists in another because I found it in myself. I do believe that people can change because I have changed. Yeah, you have to want it. Yeah, you have to work for it. Okay? But, you know, I've I feel like that's why I've gone through all this. Because at the end of the story, I still believe that there is someone meant for me. And I don't know, like, when they're going to show up. They'll show up when they're meant to show up. But I do believe that I had to become and learn. It's like I had to become loving towards myself. And I had to become the person that would be able to receive the kind of love I've been dreaming of, because I was broken for a really long time. And as much as I wanted people to love me or someone to love me, I was waiting for that person. I had to love myself enough to be able to distinguish what was good for me and what wasn't. And through all these bumps, I'll just call them bumps in the road that I've had along the way in my twin flame journey, I've learned to, I've, I've gotten a lot smarter in regards to love and my idea of love. And I understand today that love isn't about conditions and control and things like that. It is unconditional. And so I do feel that I'll probably continue doing um, the love readings. I believe in romance. I believe in the spiritual connections, and that it is all real. I mean, I've been freaking living it, and um, the when doesn't matter because I've been enjoying my life, um, getting to know myself, and, like I've started boxing, and just really that has just become such a just a power, like it's just fuel in my life to like. And I'm enjoying learning balance and just learning in general, and getting to know my children on a different level, getting to know myself on a different level, knowing that I'm whole all by myself. I've never felt like that. Like when Bambi was like first learning how to walk, and he was all like wobbly and everything, and I've been like that for a while, and everything's been trial and error, like with my channel, and sometimes like feeling like a fraud and moving through that, and like you know not being able to make sense of what's even happening. And you know this has been my life. Um my connection with myself has become my priority, my loyalty to myself. Like I had to learn all this. I wasn't loyal to myself, and it's not like being loyal to myself in a selfish way. It's being loyal to myself in a self-caring way. And that was something I never understood before, not at the level and capacity that I understand it today. And I want to help people continue to get to that place of understanding and being at peace within themselves. I've worked with couples, I've worked with individuals, and some people, they um it's always just like about like, well, what are they doing, what are they doing, when are they coming, nothing's changing, nothing's changing. And it's like, yeah, well, doesn't it count that you're changing, or are they changing? I don't know. I know that for me, it matters that I'm changing. I've really been changing. It's not so much about the when and if and who is he and all that stuff. I just know that through it all, what I've learned is that my value system has changed, and I don't know, I want to help people get there. And maybe you don't think that that's like super romantic or anything, but it's like I just look at it now like the person I want is like they're not going to want to treat me like shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't want to treat anybody like shit. And um it doesn't have to be forever. And I'm believing now that forever is happening right now anyway. So it's like it's just not about the time. And I don't know, people, but it it hasn't been an easy ride for me either. And, so many of you like email me, and I feel your frustration. And, the reason I don't respond to those kind of emails is because it's like, I'm not there, and I can't force you to understand that it has to be, you have to make peace with yourself first. You have to truly be grateful for the journey, for yourself, for just the time alone, for the connection that you get to have with yourself, like falling madly and passionately in love with yourself, not egotistically, but in this like self-caring, self-healing way. And it's only been like because I've done that and made the effort to do that and continue to strive towards it, because it's not like I'm like totally healed over here, I still got my fucking issues. But it's like through this whole process, I've been able to release people with love and the understanding that if they never come back, they weren't meant to, and they're doing exactly what they need to be doing in their life, as am I. And to be happy that they are living their journey, and whether that's like with me or without me, you know what I mean? So I love you guys. I'm serious. Like, you just don't even know what you do for me. And, you know, I know that people that watch my channel, there's some people that like you guys really like you have much bigger channels than I do. And you're like really hitting the masses. And there are some of you that have just begun to start your channels or whatever it is that you're doing to, put out your love, like put out your frequency to the world. That's what they said. And my guides. But it's like just to be a part of you, it's just been amazing. And to be able to share the things, my own experience with you, it's been so healing for me, and I know that putting ourselves out there like this, like it's not always easy, because people judge you and things like that, but it's not even about that. I know that within all my heart and soul that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's why I do it. And that's why I won't stop doing it, you know? Anyway, I guess that's it. 3319. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. If anyone's interested in a reading, all my information is in the description box. I hope this helps somebody. I hope this makes sense. Well, whatever. I know it helped me. I know this is what I'm supposed to share, so I'm sharing it. And yeah, I hope that you have a great day. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.